You were sweating and moving frantically when the dream ripped you out of your sleep. You were confused for a moment, disoriented, but the sun was already throwing its long rays through the entrance of your quarters. It is located in the center of the Jangasanga Reserve in the heart of Africa. The dream had led you to your father, who mysteriously disappeared 1 year ago. He could spend nights in the library, philosophizing over the historical evolution of animals for hours on end. His last words burned themselves into your mind so that they even follow you in your sleep. I will find the prehistoric whale, even if I am the only person who believes this creature exists. You've never seen the sun go up faster than it does here, near the equator. Here where the sun stands at its highest, global desolation is already casting its clouds. One of the most beautiful antelope species is tremendously affected. A herd of bongos was seen behind the hills. Try to find them. These poor animals will have to die if you do not help them soon. To move, simply move the mouse to the edge of the screen in the respective direction, or use the arrow keys on your PC keyboard. You can also look in any direction you desire by pressing and holding the center mouse button. Just give it a try. Then continue, and as soon as you discover one of the animals, quickly select it with a mouse click. Very good! Every time you select an animal, you can see important information concerning the animal's current state displayed in the open window in the lower right of the screen. You can see the animal is very hungry. Bongos are herbivores, which means they mostly eat green plants. You can find feeding facilities in the menu for Now you can select the feeding facility for green plants and place it somewhere near the bongos, so the animals can find their food right away. They will immediately start eating the fresh leaves, but be careful. Make sure the animals have enough space to reach the feeding facility without any problems. You are a quick learner. However, unfortunately, the bongos are not saved yet. They still need water to drink. Somebody told you there is a small water well nearby. Perhaps you can already hear it. Try to find the water well and then select it. It looks like the poor bongos will not be able to walk all the way to the well along the stony path. At this point, you should take a good look at the landscape. The easiest and fastest way to do that is by using the function for maximum zoom out. Now you can also use the mouse wheel to quickly zoom in or out as you desire. Go ahead and try it out if you want to, but then we should continue. The bongos are really bound to die of thirst if we do not find a solution. Now the rest is up to you. Will you manage to bring the water to the bongos with the help of these tools? Very good. You've already selected the correct tool. Use this tool to lower the ground and form a waterfall. Try it. Once you've done that, all you have to do is wait until the bongos have quenched their thirst. Congratulations! You have saved the bongos' lives. Now we can sit back and think about how to create a natural habitat for the antelopes. You should remove the dry branches near the bongos so they have more free space to move. You can remove objects with the bulldozer tool. Do you want to try it? By the way, you can also undo your last actions step by step by using this function. Feel free to try it. And you can also do the same thing, just the other way around. Go ahead and try. Did you see? Now everything is back to normal, the way it was. Okay, enough playing around. The bongos would like to live in their natural habitat. You can find suitable plants to feed them in the tool area. 4 trees with green plants should suffice for the bongos. That way they'll have enough to eat, even in the future. The yellow arrows above the animal show that the animal is not fully satisfied. The same applies for plants. Select one of the trees. In the bottom right, you can also see what the plant requires. This tree does not seem to like the hard ground. Place the new soil directly under the tree and watch how it affects the plants. Great, it worked. The yellow arrow above the animals has disappeared, and the plants seem to be flourishing under optimal conditions. Oh, and if you're not sure about something, you can always check your current progress in the mission down here. Take a closer look at the mission objective. This panel offers you a short description of the mission, and once in a while you will find a hint or two concerning what you have to do next. The panel says the next thing you should do is close this window, so we can continue. Very good. Now the next thing you should do is satisfy the bongos, make them totally happy. In the meanwhile, you know how to find out what else they're lacking. You have saved the bongos in the Janga Sangha Reserve, and you have provided them a habitat in which they feel safe and satisfied. Select Next Mission if you already would like to continue to the next mission. If you would rather spend a little more time with the bongos, click on Continue. For more information concerning your performance in the mission, click on the button to the left for a list of detailed statistics. Due to your job, you see a lot of the world. Aside from you, there are only few biologists interested in wild animals, since there are only very few species left on Earth. That does make you quite proud, but on the other hand, it makes you think. Will humanity ever be able to provide a habitat for all animals, where they can live in peace and happiness? Upon arriving in the small camp in the middle of the Brazilian jungle, two gatekeepers come running towards you, pleading for help. They have brought an injured jaguar to the camp and are quite concerned about its state of health. It looks like the animal was chased by villagers. Presumably, the jaguar was in search of prey, since its natural preying grounds no longer exist. The gatekeepers named the injured jaguar Onca. They have already brought the cat to an enclosure. However, there is a hole in the fence. Make haste and fix the hole in the fence to ensure that the animal cannot escape and harm anyone in the surrounding area. You can find fences at the bottom of the screen, in a separate tool area. Now select the steel fence. Every time you have selected, you are a good handyman. By the way, you can always close the current construction menu if it is in your way by pressing the right mouse button. The jaguar is urgently in need of medical care. Good thing that the Brazilian authorities have provided a small budget. Therefore, it will be helpful to call a good veterinarian right away. You can find different employees in the tool area at the bottom of the screen. Select a vet and place his or her quarters outside of the enclosure to make sure the jaguar has enough free space. It will be necessary later on. Every time you select a personnel building, you can see a line drawn around that employee's current work area. That means the areas outside of his or her working area are colored red as well. You might have to zoom out a bit and move the mouse to the left and right to see the colored area on the ground. To a certain extent, you will be able to change the size of a work area later on by selecting the building. After all, you don't want to overburden your employees. To ensure that your employees can enter and leave the enclosure at any given time, you should always include gates in your fences. You can find gates in the same tool area as the fences. This is where you will find special gates for personnel to ensure that nobody can trespass onto the enclosure. You don't need to worry. The jaguar cannot escape through this gate. Now try to place a gate in the fence so the vet can easily and directly reach the jaguar, or, if necessary, quickly escape the enclosure. Remember, short walking distances are important for your employees' safety. Very good. That should do the job. Of course, you may place multiple gates in one fence as long as there is enough space between the posts. Hopefully, the vet will take care of the jaguar shortly. You can sit back now and watch. The jaguar is back on its feet, but he is incredibly hungry. You should consider asking a keeper for help in dealing with such a dangerous and noble wild animal. You can also find keepers under personnel. Also place the keeper's house outside of the enclosure, somewhere close to the enclosure gate. Wonderful! Now Onca will receive a large portion of fresh and healthy meat so she can grow healthy and strong after all the troubles she has been through. And you can be sure she will be even happier once she has eaten. We need to cheer the jaguar up a bit. The best thing would be at least a few rocks. Perhaps that will suffice for now. Try placing a stone somewhere near the jaguar. Let's see what happens. Yes, Onca seems to be interested in this object. Wait and see what happens with the animal's satisfaction level. Wow, Onca's level of satisfaction actually increased. That is because she was able to satisfy her urge to pounce around with the stone. Each individual species has different needs in terms of their urge to move around. Among the enclosure extras, you will always find something suitable to satisfy each current need. As a biologist, you are surely aware that jaguars are also very good swimmers. They can even take up a fight with dangerous water snakes. Perhaps your lady jaguar could use a bath. Then select the water pump to the left of the enclosure. The symbol above the wonderful, the bath is running. Now let's wait and see what Onca thinks about that. The animals will explore their habitat by themselves. However, you can help a little bit by placing Onca in the water. Just click on the jaguar and move the animal with the respective buttons. A small storm is approaching. Nothing very unusual around here. We should build a shelter for the jaguar. What do we have in store? Jaguars love rock caves. They feel safe in caves and can rest there when they need to regain strength. Where would you like to place Onca's new home? When placing the shelter, always make sure there's enough space between the other enclosure extras. Otherwise, you might block the path for the animals and your employees. Let's see if the jaguar accepts its new rock cave. In any event, it is important that the shelter is not great. This wild cat is now purring like a little kitten. You seem to be good friends with Onca in the meanwhile. But she is a wild animal that grew up in the wilderness. And that is what you must prepare her for now. We should train her strength and persistence. Again, special instruments are available for this purpose. Upon selecting the boxing machine, you will see a star symbol displayed on the right side of the menu under Training. This is the first training level. Onca is now ready to start training. Place the boxing machine somewhere close to the jaguar. Let's see. Unfortunately, an animal trainer is available. By the way, when placing objects, you can also determine which direction they should face. It's easy. Simply press and hold the mouse button when placing an object, and then move the mouse up or down to rotate the object. This way, you can decide for yourself where the entry for a building should be. Try it out. In the meanwhile, you have a few employees in your little camp. The trainer will try to motivate the animal. Let's see if he manages to motivate Onca to use the boxing machine. Training will take a while. It is important not to overwork the animals, otherwise they will be worn out. Therefore, have some patience. Congratulations! The jaguar has reached the first training level. When you select the jaguar, this information is displayed. The colored progress bars that appear directly underneath the green satisfaction bar when you click on the animal show you the animal's progress in training. When all the colored progress bars are full, Onca would be ready for the circus. But that is not your job right now. The training machine has trained Onca's strength. Now it is time to improve her persistence in the second level of training. You will find a suitable machine among the enclosure extras. Check if you can find anything new and place the object somewhere close to the animal. Correct. The treadmill is for the second level of training. Now you will need some patience until the two have completed their training program. You can see the progress in training any time by selecting the animal and observing the progress bar. Onca, the lady jaguar, has regained her health and is extremely strong. All the people in the camp are pleased to see how well the gorgeous animal is doing. The gatekeepers are now ready to release Onca into the wilderness. They have assured you that they found a suitable spot in the Brazilian jungle, far away from the villages of the humans. It is now up to you. Do you want to hand Onca over to the gatekeepers and continue to the next mission? Or would you rather stay and spend some more time with Onca? Your family in Sweden has called for help. Your brother is very concerned about the future of the family wildlife park. After your father mysteriously disappeared, the park has been rapidly dwindling into a miserable state. Everyone is in despair, and nobody knows how to handle this ailing financial situation. Therefore, your family has asked you to return to Sweden and help them. You don't wait any longer and decide to take the next plane to Sweden. Immediately upon arriving, a brilliant idea sparks your mind. Why not simply open the park for visitors and redevelop the park with the money you earn? Your brother is delighted, and you even managed to convince the city administration to approve government aid for this project. Your family is extremely proud of the new building that now stands tall at the entryway of the first wildlife park. Unfortunately, you still do not have any visitors. That's not surprising, though. This little park is almost totally unknown. You decide to invest more money in marketing activities, and you start ad campaigns to attract more visitors to your park. Select a marketing activity by clicking on the entrance. This is where you can open the marketing app. Good. This is where you will find all the marketing activities that are currently available. You must then start the activity you have selected in the menu that opens in the lower. Very good. The ads for your park are now running. However, we must not forget to open the park for visitors. The entrance is still closed, as you can see on the symbol above the building. You can open selected facilities by clicking on the button above or below the object. Everybody is curious and excited to see how the first. Start off by placing several sculptures directly near the entrance, so the visitors will have a good first impression of your wildlife park. Great! Your visitors will be pleased. Your brother just had another idea while he was in the bathroom. What if some of the visitors in the park suddenly need to use the restroom? We don't have the facilities for that, do we? Let's see if we can find something appropriate in the tool area for visitor facilities. This is where you can purchase a restroom. A small hint: always place visitor facilities with the entry facing the path, so the visitors will not have to walk long distances, and they won't ruin your nice lawn. Well, quite some time has passed, but unfortunately the entrance fee does not seem to be bringing in enough money. You could raise the entrance fee, but that might scare off new visitors. Your brother has another idea. We could simply offer cheap drinks on every corner and make the costs for using the restroom extremely high. That doesn't sound that stupid, but what do you think? In any event, you can find facilities for drinks under the tool area for visitors' facilities. Particular facilities, such as the restroom and sales booths, have running expenses. You can see the expenses at any time by simply selecting the respective building. In addition, you can see how cost-efficient the facility is, reflected in its profit value. In the meantime, in town, word spread that your park offers a welcome alternative to everyday life and total relaxation on the weekend. Even some of the business people in town have heard about your flourishing park. One of them has offered to set up a photo booth in Wildlife Park. You may now purchase this booth in the tool area for visitor facilities. The photo booth will surely give us some additional income, and it will satisfy the visitors' shopping urge. If you like, you can also change the costs for the photo booth. Some visitors are complaining that there are not enough dustbins in the park. Perhaps you should place a few, so the visitors don't pollute the entire park. Great! Now the visitors may use the most important facilities. I think we might even be able to afford some additional employees. Perhaps someone to take care of all the litter. Or do you prefer to pick up all the litter yourself? Let's take a look at the tool area for personnel. We can see that a bin man is available. It is recommended you place the building somewhere in the center of your park so the bin man can reach all the littered places. A handyman wouldn't be bad either. He could fix fences if they are broken or need to be maintained over time. We don't want the animals to escape and injure the visitors. You've done a very good job in establishing your park. Now try to keep the visitors and the animals satisfied. You can find detailed information regarding your mission objective in the mission description in the bottom left of the menu. Perhaps you placed some of the facilities in a somewhat unsuitable manner, but you can sell them and place them again at any time. Fantastic! You have done a really great job. Thanks to you, the Family Wildlife Park is saved, and so is the future of the family. If you're ready for your next adventure, click on Next Mission. If you would rather stick around and tend to your family's wildlife park, click on Continue. Again, you feel something drawing you out into the big wide world, far away from home. Perhaps it is because your father always took you along with him on his expeditions when you were a child. As a joke, your brother once mentioned that you know the globe better than the back of your hand. One of your best friends, Fernando, is a development worker on the Arabic Peninsula. You would love to visit him again. The desert regions in that area are growing and spreading. In Arabia, you can find barely any kind of natural vegetation. Fernando has made it his business to take care of the animals affected, and he is extremely excited to see you on his farm. The oasis that once served as a water hole and food source for the animals is completely dried out. Fernando says the food stocks are as good as empty, but he's happy that you have promised to support him. After a long discussion, you decide to gather all the money you have and build your own farms for food production. This way, there will be no problems with a lack of food in the future. You can find farms for food production in the tool menu for personnel and production facilities. Carnivores as well as herbivores live on Fernando's farm. Therefore, you will need a greenhouse, a poultry farm, and a water tower. Assist Fernando in establishing an adequate and long-lasting supply of food. You should build a greenhouse, a poultry farm, and a water tower. You can find these buildings in the tool area for personnel. Well done! The buildings have been constructed and are ready for use. And now you must start the production process. What you require most is green plants for food. Therefore, start the production process in the greenhouse. Click on the respective building. Now open the menu for food production. As you can see, this menu functions in the same manner as the marketing menu, which you have already learned about. Start the production process for the green plants for food. You can also determine the amount of food to be produced per month. Right now, however, the amount already produced should suffice. Increasing productivity would also mean higher utility costs, and Fernando's budget is not that large. Well done! The production process for green plants for food has started. As soon as enough food is in the storeroom, Fernando will head off and fill the feeding facilities for the animals. But we still also need meat and water. Therefore, you should start the meat and water production process now. Well done. It looks like food production is secured. Fernando asks you to take a closer look at the animals. He thinks they still might need a few facilities for the enclosure. Satisfy the animals' needs. Fernando is thrilled. The animals seem to be very satisfied, and the little animal farm is now able to provide for itself. Now that all the work is done, Fernando would just love to spend a few more relaxing days with you. But you can decide for yourself. Lumbermen are making their way through the Chinese province of Jiangxi. Unfortunately, nobody considered the fact that giant panda bears still inhabit the clearance areas. Huge parts of their habitat have already been destroyed, and the pandas can no longer find sufficient food. Now a rescue program has been initiated, and you are responsible for coordinating the project. You should make haste and ensure that the pandas are well and safe. You have been able to save the panda family from sure death. The Chinese government is deeply thankful and will make sure that everyone pays better attention to the pandas in the future. If you would like to spend more time with the pandas, click on Continue. Or would you rather go ahead and start the next mission? The American businessman John Smith is quite a wealthy man and pretty clever when it comes to dealing with financial matters. However, he knows nothing about animals. He had the business idea to construct a wildlife park in the middle of Montana. The park has been constructed, but is not open to the public because the poor animals have lost their spark of life. Mr. Smith has assigned you to take care of things. Do everything and anything necessary to satisfy the animals' needs. Once you arrive in Montana, you realize that Mr. Smith did not consider many of the things the animals require. Things are missing from all areas: personnel, food, and extras for the enclosures. Okay, so you know what to do. Roll up your sleeves and make things a little more comfortable for the animal. John Smith is very grateful. Your work and success has opened his eyes and mercilessly revealed his mistakes. Thank goodness you were able to work things out. Now, Mr. Smith and the employees in the park know how to take care of the animals in the future. Now there's no reason why we shouldn't open the park. Mr. Smith has offered you to stick around for a while and assume the honorable role of opening the park. Either accept this offer or continue to the next mission, whichever you desire.